Well, greetings and salutations, everyone. I hope everyone is doing well today. Today I have a very disturbing upload to share with you. If you caught last night's middle of the night bonus upload, I kind of mentioned that I had just gotten off the phone. I was working on putting the middle of the night bonus upload together and checked my emails like I normally do. I check them every couple of hours. And someone very, not strange, but out of the blue reached out to me. And in their email, they included something that made me stop everything I was doing and contact them immediately. And we'll get into that momentarily. A couple links. As you know, I rely on Patreon, PayPal, and the merch to help the channel to continue to grow and go. Links to Patreon and PayPal are in the description below. The merch is displayed directly under the video. Also, Dogman Frightening Encounters, Volume 1 through 3, the audiobook versions. They were written and researched by Tom Lyons, narrated and produced by me, Jeff Nadolny. Those audiobooks are available on Audible, Amazon, and iTunes, links to which are also in the description as well. And finally, last but definitely not least, if you'd really like to help support this channel to continue to grow and go, simply subscribe. It does not cost you a cent. Click that like button. It takes half a second. If you don't want to miss out on any of the informative uploads I put out daily, click that bell icon. And folks, please leave a comment. Why? Well, because all these things, they really do help this channel to continue to grow and go. And yeah, they definitely do matter. Now, everyone, I have taken far too much of your time. Let's jump into this very mind-blowing upload I have to share with you. Shall we? So, I open this email, and it's very short, very politely written, and there is a paper clip, which means an attachment. I open the attachment and it's a ID, federal ID for a federal park ranger out of Tonto National Forest in Arizona. And he says, I have some very damning evidence against the United States government that I'd like to share with you. Please do not share my ID. That is for you to validate who I am. Please do not share my name, because there was multiple park rangers on duty that day that are now still, like myself, retired. But I need to share this with you. I've sat on it for far too long, and the experience that I'm going to share got stirred up about a month and a half ago when he was watching YouTube, and one of his other creators that he watches talked about this. And he said, I didn't know if I should reach out to this man. He may after this, but he reached out to me because of the simple fact that the animal attacks that I talk about, the cover-ups that I talk about, and the relationship that I had or have with Victor. That was probably the key factor. And he said, I know when I saw the photos of the emails that you shared, CIA.gov, UCIA.gov, I knew that you were going to be the person I was going to share this with. Now, this gentleman has been sitting on this information for almost 30 years. 26 years. Actually, more. About 28 years. When we talked, he said, first and foremost, this is who I am. I'm retired. I was a forest ranger, federal forest ranger. I carried a handgun. He loved his job. He raised a beautiful family. Being a forest ranger, it was his life. And he saw quite a bit that didn't make sense. But the thing that stuck with him the most was this case that I'm going to share with you now. He has seen Bigfoots, and I say multiple Bigfoots, big feet. And he believes that he's seen Dogman, but dead. He's seen some other things that he was not able to explain, paranormal. And for those of you who know, the Tonto National Forest is in Arizona. There's a lot of Native American. It's steeped in rich Native American history. Well, he was about a month and a half ago watching a YouTube channel, and he said, my jaw dropped to the ground. Former park ranger, he was a Series 0025 at the Tonto National Forest. Showed me his credentials. He watches a lot of YouTube as being retired. Fishing channels, woodworking, Hitchcock or Hancock, the old guy that likes to shoot rifles. We talked about him for a little bit. And a couple of other kind of cryptid channels. One, Mr. Ballin. We all watch John Allen. I mean, that guy is a friggin' legend. And that's the thing that struck the nerve. I hadn't watched the video that he talked about, the case that he talks about in this video. And he said, Jeff, do me a favor. Watch the video and call me when you're done watching it. That way you know what I'm going to share with you is true. I'm like, okay. So I guess after he was done picking his jaw up after he had seen this video, he watches How to Hunt, David Paulides, me, a couple of other channels that I'm not too familiar with. Dark Waters, obviously. But so this is I'll give you the gist of the incident of what the news. This is the public information. So date was May 27th, 1995. A truck driver named Devon Williams was in Kingman, Arizona, lives with his family in Americus, Kansas. He'd been driving for roughly 3 or 4 days, just nonstop, trying to get back home to his family. Inside this trailer that the news public information said that he was carrying vegetables and fruits. In the video, John Allen, Mr. Ballin, said that it was strawberries and lettuce. Devon was a large guy, really kind of a westerny, tattooed, just a big, intimidating guy, but a big teddy bear. Loved his family, very family-oriented, just a really nice, wholesome individual. So I'm going to go through the public information. I guess he calls his boss, says, I can't sleep, I'm going to drive, and then I'll take another break. I want to get this done so I can be with my family. Well, I guess as time goes on, he calls the boss and says this to him. I believe this is on a Sunday. And Monday morning comes rolling around where he's supposed to deliver this shipment is calling his boss. He's like, hey, my driver is one of my best. He'll be there. Give him about half an hour, 45 minutes to an hour. He's gonna be there. I guess they don't hear from him for, a couple hours. They call back. Where is he? Okay, well, this is 1995, so pre-cell phones, can't reach him on the CB radio. I'm assuming because it would be out of range. And Monday night comes, and his boss gets a phone call from Devon's wife. That pings it for him because Devon is such a family-oriented guy. He immediately calls the police to take a report. Missed the deadline. And he calls the sheriff, the local sheriff station from where he's at. The sheriff says, listen, we'll find him. We have ways of dealing with this. We can, it's like a root system kind of, like the fingers go out and they can find out where. Well, they do. And in Coconino County, Arizona, the sheriff says, we got the truck. We don't have the driver. The truck is an impound right now. And we don't know where your driver is, but we have the truck and trailer. Now, we're going to go back in time to Sunday, where everything starts. All right, so I did get a lot of this information that I'm going to share with you from that video that I watched on Mr. Ballin's channel. I am not a storyteller. I am not John Allen. I don't have the skills of storytelling that he does. I research things and I share it. But basically, Sunday, a couple of campers are camping and they see this monster tractor trailer come flying through the park and they're like, what the hell? They see it come back through. Previously, they're like, hey, you know, maybe this guy got lost. He's looking for a place to turn around. Boom, it comes back. They're like, yep, that's what happened. Boom, it's coming back for a third time. And they now see a car coming from their vantage point. They can see the tractor trailer. They can see the car. The truck or the car can't see each other. People are yelling. They say, hey, you know, pull over, get out of the way. I guess the guy sees the rig, throws it in reverse, and pretty much crashes into the woods to get out of this runaway tractor trailer. When they see Devon, he is this blank look on his face. Like he's just a blank look, you know. He's gripping the wheel tight, but he's not, doesn't look angry. He doesn't look happy. He's just blank. So about an hour and a half go by, and this family is hiking. You know, this is the 6th largest national park in Arizona. Out of the 9. So it's a fairly large park. Now, this family comes to this kind of meadow field area, and they see this truck parked, right? And they're like, the hell? The dad says, wait here. What's the guy, you know, what's this driver doing? Maybe he's stuck. Maybe we can help him. Let's figure out what's going on. But stay here, please. I don't want you guys to, you know. Guy's like, hey, you all right? Devon turns around and looks at this father/hiker and does some very intimidating and very strange behavior. He opens his mouth as wide as it can go, closes it, and starts clicking his teeth while kind of moving his jaw. Just a really strange thing to do. And then says, the only words that are said is, I did not do it. They did it. The guy's like, shit, I'm out of here. This guy's making some kind of weird face. Says this weird off the wall comment to me. Goodbye. So he gets out of there. Eventually, I don't know if they called the police, contacted the police, or if just I'm imagining they did, or the campers did. It's kind of not really known who did at the time, but the deputies come and they find the truck. Okay. Now, this is where things get strange. Because this is where John, we'll call him John Doe, Ranger John Doe steps in. And so the deputy finds the truck, and the truck's locked. Per the news, truck is locked, running with the vegetables still in the truck. Now, at this point, they're like, where the hell is Devon? He's not broke. He has a, family, new home. They have money in the bank. They're happy. So the police are like, well, he didn't run away. Maybe he was kidnapped. Who knows? 2 years later, 2 hikers in the in the same area, approximately the same area of where Devon was last seen. His skull is found. And that's where what we know of the public information is shared. This is where John Doe, Park Ranger John Doe, shares with me. During the investigation, after the truck was located, it was said to be full, but it was not. Some hours later, 2 helicopters land, and 6 men out of each helicopter get out of the 6 men each out of the helicopter. Long guns spoke with the sheriff on duty and whoever was the head honcho of the park rangers. It was not John, even though he was in a Series 0025 position, which just means he had seniority and some power. And I asked him, I said, by me sharing that, will that? And he said, no, there was enough of us there that had that qualification. We were all there for a long time. We all had pretty much the same kind of ranking and job. So these helicopters land. The 6 men on one helicopter head out. The other helicopter, they head out one way. They go in opposite directions, kind of not like this, but kind of like that. And 2 days later, the helicopters are radioed. Now, mind you, there's park rangers in the area. They're kind of like, what's going on? They keep, going out and, making sure everything's okay. To retrieve something. Well, the one helicopter leaves and comes back about 45 minutes to an hour later with a large, hairy creature that was not a bear and was not a Sasquatch, was a Dogman, what he believes was a Dogman. His boss, I guess, was told, that this is a large wolf. Well, he's worked this area for a number of years. There is no wolves like that in this area, and wolves don't get that big. And he knew that. And he said also, wolves don't have feet that have arches, and they don't have feet. They have paws. An hour later, the second helicopter leaves and comes back with 2 bodies in this kind of like cargo netted thing. They all land. The men the rangers and deputies that are on the scene are kind of not quarantined away, but they're kind of pushed back. Military vehicle comes in. These 3 creatures that are dead are loaded up, and they leave. Now, Devon is certainly not seen. He's not. he believes that the trailer, this is where it absolutely even gets more sinister and a little more strange, is that when the park ranger deputy were on the scene before these mysterious military-like team comes in, they look at this trailer. There is no fruits or vegetables in it. That's what the news told us. What's in it is what appears to be some kind of cages, and chains with large kind of claw marks along the walls of this trailer. John Doe Park Ranger is certain that Devon was carrying these creatures to the park for a release. Something messed up, or Devon felt bad about what he was doing. He doesn't know. But John Doe Park Ranger had heard the interviews with Victor and heard about like his dad's stuff in the timeline and this and that. And it matches up to when things were really going on, when a lot of these animals were getting pushed out, placed different places. Animals, creatures. Now, I said, what do you think happened to Devon because of the skull? And he said, I truly believe that he was either attacked right after the family left by the Dogmen, or whatever creature was in those cages in the back of that trailer, or when the teams came in, he was taken care of, possibly buried. Maybe an animal came and dug him up, and that's how the skull was found on a trail. He said, but we did a search and we could find it, nor hide no hair of him. At the end of all of this, NDAs were signed. And like I said, he's been sitting on this information since 1995, 1997. When he saw the video pop up, he was shocked, just shocked that someone even knew about the story. It's a story that's not talked about. It's not a missing 411. It's kind of just flown under the radar for a reason. Because it is a cover-up. And this is not my words, this is his. He saw what he saw. He is pretty much felt like he did a disservice to the public and to his family by holding on to it for so long. But once again, he never really forgot about it, but it happened, and he kind of just, years go by and you're working, you have a family, and it doesn't leave your brain, but it kind of sits on the shelf. And it was just that one video that triggered it. And to me, everything that John Doe Park Ranger shared with me, from his federal ID to why he believes it's a cover-up makes perfect sense to me. It fits the criteria. Why isn't he a missing person? He disappeared, or a missing 411. Why wasn't he talked about? Because it's not major national news, but it does fall into that category of missing 411. It's missing in a national forest. But once again, when the government wants things covered up, they can do it very quickly and usually very adequately, which in my eyes they did. Because I've been looking into these strange cases and I've never even heard of this man, and you'd think it would fall into the category, human skull found 2 years after the fact that this all took place. Not what we just shared with you from John Doe Park Ranger, but the public information. So that is what was shared with me last night. I honestly was, after the conversation, after I watched the video, after everything, I really kind of just sat here Googling and reading and was shocked and really felt like, wow. And then I started to think about other cover-ups. Tony Aarons, Amber Miller, Christopher Whiteley, Brenda Hamilton, and then other missing 411s. Dennis Martin, the 2 Navy SEALs that disappeared in Yosemite. Kim, I forget his last name offhand, but it's definitely not a normal case. So after all the conversation was done, he asked me, what do you think? What do you think the cages in the truck and the chains were for? Can you ask Victor, please? And I said, I have not spoke to Victor in about a month, but if I do talk to him, I will most definitely talk and ask him what he knows of this. But from what you just shared with me, everything that you laid out and how you laid it out was horrifying, points to everything and every way that any of these government and media covered up attacks, government and media covered up missing people happen, and it fits in that realm of the deceit by the government. And he asked once again, please do not. And I said, listen, I do not break confidentiality. I appreciate you, and I appreciate you sharing this with me. I had a whole different upload set for tomorrow morning. I had something all recorded. I was all proud of myself because I was like, I can take a night after, 9 p.m. instead of recording all night long. I can just upload the uploads that I have set, and I have an upload set for tomorrow morning. I'm good to go. Check the email and bam. It was definitely a jar that the lid popped off, and I couldn't put that lid back on because it was far too important of information to share. So, with that being said, guys, please stay safe. Stay safe out there. We're in fall season. The weather's changing. People are hiking more. Hunting season's here. We're outside. You know, it's not so hot. It's not so muggy. People want to go and enjoy nature. Please be careful. Please. These creatures are real. They are out there. And I don't, honestly, in my heart of hearts, believe that the government is more deadly than these creatures at some point. It's a lose-lose. So just be careful. And with that, thank you. Your support is what makes this channel so special. Your support is what makes this channel continue to grow and go. Please stay safe, happy, healthy, and ever vigilant. Keeping an eye on your children. The children are the most valuable commodity in this world. Please keep an eye on them. If you have children, if you have nieces, nephews, cousins, keep an eye on your pets. Your pets disappear. You start seeing animals disappear. You know something's wrong in your friends and family. Share a little bit of information with the people that you love and care about on a daily basis. Just share it. Just a piece. It's not going to hurt you or hurt them. It may stick there. With that being said, guys, have a wonderful rest of your day, and God bless you all.